Well, hello, my fiends. It's your fiend, David the Rock Nelson again. I'm down here in my dungeon or my basement, and I just got this book last night, on the cheap, the movies of Greydon Clark. And, and of course, I first saw him in Dracula versus Frankenstein when I was home on a break from Bible college, and we had a teeny little black and white TV set. And so I turned on at 5:30 in the morning. I was watching that. I was sitting on a wood floor, at our old house in Park Ridge, Illinois. And I thought, man, this is a great movie. I remember seeing that in Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. There was an article back in the early 70s, right after Dracula versus Frankenstein came out. Pictures of it. I thought, man, I got to see that, So I finally got to see it we're talking 15 years later, but now less than that, maybe 13 years later. And so anyway, so there you go. See, there's the chapter. I read the first thing I read today, 8 a.m. I started reading this book, and I read the part on Dracula versus Frankenstein, formerly known as The Bloodseekers. Yeah, scripted by Greydon Clark, and he was going to get 10% of the profits of what Al got, but it didn't really work out. He ended up getting $500 a week for 2 weeks or something, and maybe a little bit extra for the script. But he didn't really he didn't really make that as much as he thought he was going to make. But that's the way it goes. That's B movie making. But and it was interesting. And so but like I say, Dracula vs. Frankenstein. I remember hearing that the sequel to that was actually supposed to be the sequel to Satan Sadist, the biker movie, where Russ Tamlin plays Rico the biker, and Greydon Clark was a biker in that, But I want to do my imitation of Russ Tamlin right now, because I really like that movie, So I saw it at Psychotronic Film Society back in 1987. Down in Chicago, they had a free video screening down at Delilah's Bar, the Crash Palace. Now it's called Delilah's. Yeah, there's Saturday night free video screening at 6 p.m. of Satan Sadist. I saw the preview of it. They showed an hour of trailers before they showed the movie, and they showed the trailer for Satan Sadist. It's really good. So it goes like this. This is Russ Tamlin in his greatest role ever as the biker Satan. Now, in Dracula vs. Frankenstein, which is supposed to be the sequel, I don't know if it really was the sequel, but they were going to make it the sequel. Russ Tamlin plays a biker in that, but he's called Rico. His name is Rico in Dracula vs. Frankenstein. It's a different biker. That was his other greatest role, maybe his second greatest role ever. Yeah, I know he was in Twin Peaks as Dr. Jacoby. I heard about that because the guy from Psychotronic Film Society, the fearless leader, Mike Flores, he said that he's a big fan of Twin Peaks, but I couldn't get into that. I hated the opening music. It's kind of sad. That's my opinion. Never got into Twin Peaks. Didn't like it. I ain't gonna watch it. I like watching more happy stuff. I like my monster movies. They have a good ending. Now, Dracula vs. Frankenstein had a good ending, too, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. You check it out for yourself. But anyway, here's my imitation of Russ Tamlin in his greatest role ever in Al Adamson's Satan Sadist. Yeah, you're right. I am a rotten. I admit it. Wait, before I do that, I want to say, I'm not going to say the B word, okay? It's a two-syllable B word. I got to be careful what you say on social media because, you're not supposed to say certain things, Okay, so when I go like that, that means I'm beeping out the bad word there, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, you're right. I am a rotten. I admit it. But I'll tell you something. Even though I got a lot of hate inside, I got some friends who ain't got hate inside. They're filled with nothing but love. Their only crime is smoking a little grass and getting high. I gotta get some of my cigarettes here. Got Vice Victory cigarette, candy cigarette. Now, I'm adding lib there. He doesn't say that in the movie. I'm using this in my movie. Okay. Okay, we're going to do take two. Okay, ready? Action. We're rolling. Action. Quiet on the set. Okay, we're rolling. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I am a rotten. I admit it. But I tell you something. Even though I got a lot of hate inside, I got some friends who ain't got hate inside. They're filled with nothing but love. Their only crime is smoking a little grass and getting high, looking at the stars at night, writing poetry in the sand. And what do? You bust down their doors, man. You dumb cop. You bust on their doors and you bust on their heads. And then they play the music. I was born mean, boom, boom. By the time I was 12, they called me Satan. And then you got Regina Carroll. You know, she's got that little pacifier, and if you watch the trailer, she goes, "How about a little of this, baby?" It's because a pacifier. You know, more. You know, parents should give their kids pacifiers on these trains. When I take the L train to go to the Monster Bash, by the way, I got my Monster Bash shirt on. That's big Lobo Johnson, big Swedish Angel wrestler. You know, they used to call him the Swedish Angel. Pro wrestler was in Ed Wood movies. His claim to fame was, you know, in Ed Wood movies. You know, and then of course Beast of Yucca Flats by Coleman Francis, and produced by Anthony Cordoza. But you know, Coleman Francis got Conrad Brooks in a cameo. Conrad Brooks is in my movie, Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf, made in '93. And Jon Stewart saw that in Mondo Video, and the guys showed that to him there back in '95 when he was visiting L.A. And they say, "Hey, you got to see this guy's movies." And they showed, of all the thousands of titles they got there, they showed him, Jon Stewart, my Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf, and he's looking at it, he goes, "Oh, this is wild. I got to have this guy on my show." So, and this was a bootleg copy of my movie. You know, Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf. I got a copy of it right here. This movie here. That's me and Conrad. It's my movie, Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf. That's me as the werewolf. That's Conrad with the toy Uzi, you know. So, you know, it's on DVD. But anyway, so when I visited L.A., like, later that year, I mean, we're talking like 2 weeks, it was a week after I was on Jon Stewart's show, was the Son of Famous Monsters convention. I went down there, I saw the Acker Mansion, I was in Forey's Acker Mansion for a few hours, went down his basement, went upstairs to his bedroom, I saw, you know, all hundreds of videos, I saw, you know, makeup from Lon Chaney down in his basement, I saw a cave, I saw the coat that Bela Lugosi wore in The Devil Bat, you know, the overcoat, and then I saw the hat that Lon Chaney Sr. wore in London After Midnight, the top hat, and his fangs and stuff, pieces of makeup that Lon Chaney Sr. had, you know. So anyway, but back to what I was saying. And the guy from The Outer Limits down in the parlor, he had a life size of that, you know, that monster inside the box, the one it's called Don't Open Till Doomsday. I didn't like that episode, but the monster was cool looking. But I didn't like the story. It was very sad, you know. I mean, the people go inside the box. I didn't like that, you know. And they get this cat had a sad ending too. But the monster was cool looking. He has a life size of that in his parlor. You know, it's a big sponge rubber thing, you know. And they made it look small in the movie, you know. But I'm a big fan of the old Outer Limits. I like the Zonti Misfits. I like the Sixth Finger with David McCallum, and I like the Obit. I love the Obit. That like Cyclops monster. That's a good one, you know. And of course, you know, everybody likes the Keeper of the Purple Twilight, and the Duplicate Man with the Megazord bird-like monster. That's one of the best. And that's one of my favorite. And then of course, I like Expanding Human with Keith Andes and what's his name? The guy that just passed away recently, Skip Holmeyer, in his greatest role ever. Yeah, he looks like a Jekyll and Hyde. That's a good story. I love the story of that one. He's kind of creepy looking. He looks like a Mr. Hyde in there. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Now we're talking about Gregan Clark and Al Adamson. But anyway, I want to say the sequel to Satan Sadist was going to be Dracula versus Frankenstein. Or it might have been called something else, but supposedly this was the next movie, and it was supposed to be the sequel to Satan Sadist. Excuse me, it was supposed to be a sequel to Satan Sadist, but it was different. In this one, you see Russ Tamlin again, but this time he's a biker, but his name is Rico. But it's a good role for him. To me, it's the second greatest role. You know, I like Russ Tamlin in these movies. In Satan Sadist is a biker, and he's great in this too. So get Dracula vs. Frankenstein. It's a great movie. And I want to say, last night when I got my book in the mail from Gregan Clark, books on the cheap, I got a poster. He gave me this as an extra bonus. The Uninvited. Look at, there's that cat monster. You know, and it says right here. See, it's autographed. See. To David the Rock Nelson, best wishes, Gregan Clark. And of course, it's got George Kennedy in it. You know, he was in that movie Airport, you know, where he had the big stogie. He was riding the plane. He's got that big stogie in his mouth, you know. I'm going to get this thing off the ground. You know, that was him. And then I got this also. I got from Graydon last night. I got in the mail The Uninvited, autographed from him. You know, that's the movie with the cat on board that ship. It gives George Kennedy a hard time. So anyway, I just wanted you to see my dungeon. And here, I got this video. This is when I take Dracula vs. Frankenstein off the TV. I actually like the TV version better because it's not as gory, but it has some scenes in this that are not in this other video. You know, the one that was on TV is edited different. And there's different edits of the movie. But the one on TV I liked, it was on UPN back in like the 90s, early 90s. And that's the one I watched because it's got the commercials, got the old commercials on it and stuff. But anyway, that's the one I usually watch. I got like 12 VCRs. So, you know, and I still edit on the video, but then I put my movies on DVD now. And here's some of my movies. Here's my newest, Dinosaur Woman. See, and it's got Forey Ackerman in it. It's got Svengoolie. There's Forey. There's Svengoolie, and then there's me with the dinosaur egg. You know, only 20 stinking bucks. Then there's another one of my new ones, Bigfoot Runs Amok, because I did the artwork there. You know, that's my artwork. Only 20 stinking bucks. And then there's that's my favorite of all my movies, Demon Monster from Outer Space. And then Miss Werewolf, that's a good one. That's got, look at it, it's got the 3 Titans of Horror. It's got Forey, Roger Corman, and Svengoolie. Got all 3 of them in it. See, there's Miss Werewolf. There you see her eating a chicken leg. That's from Brown's Chicken. So, you know, and I drew that picture of the werewolf. I do my own artwork. So, okay. So, now you better enjoy this movie or my devil aunt's gonna get you. Gotcha. Okay, cut, that's perfect.